Yo, what is up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we've got a review on your squads. You sent me some squads through Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, all that good stuff. We're going to look through some of them. I'm going to give some of them a rating, let you guys know what I think about them, and in general where I would suggest some improvements as well. But guys, this is all just a bit of fun as well, so please don't take any of the comments too personally. I do love every single one of your submissions, and every single squad, no matter how much you play, is worth it. And now, let's get into the video. Alright guys, so the first squad was sent in right here by 4HE18. Now, I'm sorry if I butcher any of your names as we're going up this. We're only going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 squads today, guys. Now, that means that not all of you will get into this first video, but I do have so many of your squads, and I'm thinking of doing multiple episodes of this, guys. So do let me know if you want me to do this as well. Getting into the first squad here, and this is the squad that he goes with: 4-3-3 with Eden Hazard on that left wing, Alexander Isak, Kulusevski, love that, Butra and Maldini there as well. Maldini, I wonder, could you let me know? Actually, it'd be very interesting to know if these are first owner cards. If they are first owner cards, that is a class pull as well. Love that Rico Henry as well. Guys, if you have not done that Rico Henry and need an easy English left back link, that card is really good, so I would recommend that. Overall, I think this squad is really nice. I'm not particularly a fan of Cuadrado, and I don't like the fact that these two are off chem. So if I was you, I would be looking at ways that I could fix this team up so that all the players are on chem. That may seem really difficult. For me, though, I would be looking to change Rico Henry with Luke Shaw and then improve the centre-back slot there. Maybe put someone who's just a little bit more defensively capable and physical rather than Rico Henry. And then you've got Luke Shaw on that left-back slot. Strong links to Curtis Jones and allows only Eden Hazard to be off chem. Otherwise, I really do love the balance of this squad. I've asked actually how he lined up in game as well, and it's a 4-2-2-2. Apologies for that image, guys, it's not the clearest, but he lines up with a 4-2-2-2 with Vidal and Jones in the middle, and then of course Hazard, Kulusevski out wide, and Butra and Isak up top. Really nice formation as well to use for this team. The balance in this team is terrific. I like the fact you've got one player who kind of, you've actually got two box-to-boxes in there, so I wonder how that balance works as well, just in terms of when they drive forward together, do they sit back together, etc. as well. So really nice. But yeah, that would be my recommendation. Change this Rico Henry out and put Luke Shaw in there, and try and get yourself an English centre-back just to fit in there. It'll be a lot easier to link together all your team as well. If you can, if you can afford it, I'd recommend trying out the Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I know it's expensive, but that would be a fantastic centre-back card in there, although he is a right-back, of course. But a lovely card to try it nonetheless. Has speed, has everything that you want in your centre-back, clearly, from using Luke Shaw. So give that a go. That would be my recommendation, or push for that card. That'll certainly fit your team as well. The next change I would make is this Cuadrado card. You need a better defender. Serie A Tots is coming this week, so maybe just hold out for that, and then you'll get a decent card to stick in there instead of him. But overall, I love this squad. I'm gonna give it, I mean, that Maldini is insane. I have to give this squad a high rating just for that Maldini, the Butra as well. Love some of these objective cards. I'd love to know how many of these are first owner as well. But overall, I think I'm going to give this a nice 7.5 out of 10. Really solid squad, and I really do love it as well, just in terms of how well it's balanced, how well it will play as well, given all the players I've used. All of these players, actually. Fantastic team. So guys, the next one we've come into is what we call, this one's come from our friend Rob. He has put together a few squads. Now guys, when I go into the images, they aren't exactly the best quality, so I have recreated the squads across here. Now if we just get into the first one here, this is his Liga 1 squad. Now the one thing to mention that Rob does tell us is that most of his team is first owner, which is absolutely insane when you look at the teams that he sent in. So he's got one for Liga 1, an icon squad, Bundesliga, PL, and La Liga. Now I've gone for only 3 of them, but some of these are insane. Like the La Liga one has players like Flashback Coutinho in it, Cucurella's in there as well. This one here has Gundogan, Mount, Aguero's in there as well. But I've gone for the Bundes, the Liga 1, and the icon team just because I think those 3 are the most impressive. First of all, the Liga 1 team. I mean, I love this. The difficult thing for me, Rob, is actually recommending how to upgrade your teams because they're first owner. So it's going to be difficult for me, but nonetheless, I'll just try and suggest what I can. If you can get your hands on them somehow, first owner cards, especially with the Liga 1 coming up this week, you might be able to get a decent player through that. I love this team, guys. I don't know how this will be lining up in game. I wonder, Rob, could you let me know if it's a 3-5-2? Because I could imagine these 3 at the back, De Chilio out left, Atal out right, maybe. I don't know how it's lining up, but that'd be nice to know actually. And considering that most of these are first owner as well, that is absolutely insane. You've of course got that record breaker Mbappe, beautiful card. Les Milou, wonderful card as well. Atal, beautiful as well. Bulaya, I didn't actually do him, but I've played against him so many times. He is an insane card. So real props to you for that, and also for using players like the Shilio, like the storyline card. Todibo in there as well. Sambi, a fantastic card, especially at centre back. Cheeky Keylor Navas, wouldn't you agree, Nep?
You just feel it, you know what I mean? Ooh, good start. Cheeky little Keylor Navas to start things off with.
Then of course we've got all the other players in here as well. So really lovely team in that regard. I'm going to give this team a solid 7.758 just because of the first owner element. By the way, if I think it is for HE18, if your players are, a lot of them first owner, then that does certainly bump your rating up. For me, guys, if you can build a first owner team, then that is absolutely phenomenal in terms of getting all of this together as well. And I think there's one other important thing as well, is that Rob has told us he's never ever put points on the game as well, and this is just one of the squads he's got together. So this is absolutely fantastic. Props to you for that, man, in terms of managing all of that. Second team, full icon team. Now we did have some spare icons on the bench. We've just gone for the ones here. I think it was like Pirlo, Deco, Hadji and Owen all sitting on the bench. This is insane. If a lot of these pulls, if they're first owner, they'll be fantastic pulls. Like Zidane is an unreal pull. I wonder, Del Piero, Dalglish and Zambrotta, I'm assuming they are the SBC cards. You've got Essien in there too. Team of the Year Neuer's in there as well. Stoichkov is one of them. He makes me mad. Like, I just he just doesn't play well for me, so I don't really rate him that highly. Zola the same. Keane here, Puyol a bit iffy in defense at this stage of the game, but bear in mind, guys, this squad as well, he'll have got this squad way earlier on in the year, with the exception of a few of these prime icon moments icons. So props to you again for managing to get your hands on all these icons. First owner again as well. I've only had 2 or 3 icons this year as well, so this is a really nice squad. I'm not actually going to rate this squad, Rob, and I can't really make suggestions for either. If you could just go out and get, like, you know, prime icon moments R9, that would be really good for this squad. But overall, I love this squad again. And if we just get into the final squad he has sent in, this is a Bundesliga squad. Now this is all first owner as well. One non-Bundesliga player in Tagliafico there. But this is a really nice squad. I wonder actually, and I did think this when I was looking at the squad at the time, how does this squad line up? Is it again in some sort of 3 at the back? Because I'm looking at Rainier, Lewandowski and Haaland, and I'm wondering how those 3 are lining up together in the formation. So do let me know in the comments how they line up together as well. And Nkunku, lovely pull as well. Marco Reus's foot birthday card, what a card that is. Bailey's in there. Lars Bender, OG card there as well, really lovely card. Boateng as well, what a card. All of this link's lovely as well. And actually, I'm going to give this a solid 8.25 out of 10. This is a really nice squad. I love how well balanced this squad is. The only reason I'm going to mark it down for me is I don't know how these 3 are lining up together, and I feel like as a cam, Reus is the best cam in this team. And the second thing is, of course, the link between Tagliafico and Reus isn't there. If you'd managed to hybrid him in somehow, that would have been cooler. But still, nevertheless, a wonderful squad in terms of all Bundesliga players. Alright guys, now the next squad we're going to look at is actually from Jwwuwu here. He has sent in his squad that he uses, and it's a lovely squad as well. Now the pictures weren't great quality, so I've gone and built the squad over in Futbin, and looking at this squad, guys, is absolutely fantastic. Now he does line up with a 4-2-3-1 in-game. We will amend this to kind of show what he does in-game as well. But overall, for mostly first owner squad, I believe as well, this is absolutely fantastic. I love that Anthony David Neres link. I'd like to know exactly, you know, this team, if it's mostly first owner as well, that would be really nice. So on the basis of that, I'm going to go on the basis that it's not, just because I did that with someone else's squad as well. So the first thing I'm looking at immediately to upgrade is that either Sirigu or Hernandez card there as well. He's got many better versions, and the Serie A Tots is coming this week, I think. So you've got an option really there to upgrade this card once the price of all the other cards comes down. This is a great card nonetheless, but you will obviously have the opportunity to get a better card out of it. The other thing I would say as well is that you can actually get more chemistry from this just by making it a 4-3-3-4, I believe. So if I just change this into a 4-3-3-4, maybe that is what you're running and I just set this up wrong. But if you do that, then you get more chemistry for your team as well. Smalling goes to full chem. Inaki Williams is on full chem as well. Anthony stays on full chem too. Maybe you have that as well. I just couldn't see it from the picture. That'll be one of the things I look to upgrade. Hernandez immediately. The next thing is Sirigu. Now Sirigu does actually have a very cheap inform, I believe. So that costs like 1,000 coins or 600 coins. There you go. It costs 9,800. So you could actually, for 10k, you could upgrade to a higher Sirigu. I don't know if you're particularly attached to Sirigu or if it's just because he's in the Serie A that you want him. The next thing then I would look to upgrade after those two, definitely Llorente. There's a tots card, you know what to do if you can try and get your hands on that. I know it's costly, but that would be the next thing I would aim for. And then after that, just look to upgrade Makalele to his prime icon moments. That card just a little bit higher. This is very much at the level of Kante, a very good card, but not quite good enough at this stage of the game. But if you can get your hand on that prime icon moments card, that will serve you really well as well. So in order, Sirigu, Hernandez, Llorente and Makalele. Overall, I give your squad 7.5 out of 10. Really nice squad again as well. Really well built, really well put together. And actually, you know what? I'm going to upgrade it to a 7.75, nearly an 8, because actually this link here between Neres and Anthony is really nice. You don't see those kind of links in a lot of teams. I haven't anyway, particularly, and I've played a lot of games of FIFA. So for me, I love that this link is in there. So that's going to boost it up a little bit. And if there's originality in your teams, guys, that is what will get the boosting up as well, in my opinion. I love how this one is put together, using some free cards in there as well, some pack pool players, some first owner players, no doubt as well. But you know my recommendations now. I hope they help out. And guys, do let me know if the recommendations help, if that's what you're looking to do anyway, or if you don't like them as well, let me know and I can try something else, see what else would work for you too. I'm more than happy to help out with that. Let's get on to the next one. Alright guys, so we have Wardy's squad here that he's sent in. Now he's just said that he's about to get the Jwwuwu, so I assume you have this Jwwuwu card right now. I feel like this team is good. It certainly does have a decent balance to it. In game, I don't know how you're lining up. I assume that it's lining up in some sort of 4-2-3-1 with Rijkaard and Vidal sitting deep, Coutinho in that 10, Lozano, Carrasco out wide and Jwwuwu up top. That would be the obvious way to line it up in my head. Of course, do let me know though if it is different, if you are lining them up as a 4-2-2-2, if you're lining them up as a 4-5-1, however you're lining them up, let me know and we'll have a look at that further as well. The only thing that I love your front line, actually, your front six, I really love them. It's the back line where I'm not so certain on that. Now the first thing I would be looking at here is actually this left back, centre back slot here. Now, the only reason I focus on this is because of the pace factor, and given the time of year that it is, I can understand why you might be getting a little frustrating playing against these people who have got insane right wingers, but Alexandro definitely not quick enough anymore to hold his own in that position. Now I understand that coins are obviously not something that everyone just has freely splashing about like I do, but that would be the first place I'd be looking to upgrade. Certainly to cover Puyol as well, because that combination of Sandro and Puyol is really slow. So if you could upgrade that left back slot just to cover Puyol a little more, you could even go and get that Roussillon card that's free, and that would allow you just to build that in a little more easily as well. And then you could find a way to section off Coutinho and, you know, link off that side of the team so that Roussillon gets full chem. There are ways to build this in, so I would say that would be my first suggestion, is go out and have a look for something that would improve your left back slot, something you can link into your team as well, and just make it easier for you in terms of defending as well. You don't want to have a tough time, especially on this side, and Puyol's such a great defender. Unfortunately, they've not done him any justice in the pace department, but that would be the first link I would be looking to improve there. And then in terms of this here, this is a very good card, of course. Chucky Lozano, all his cards are very good on current FIFAs. I'd be looking to upgrade it though, just maybe to a higher Lozano. I know he does have a headliners card. If you can get your hands on that as well, fantastic pickup. He may well get a tots card, so that will drive the price of the headliner down as well. So just keep an eye out for that as well. Another upgrade I would have there. But overall, I really like your squad. 7.5 out of 10 for me. Really lovely squad that you've grinded out throughout this year. I do appreciate that some of these subs as well are very useful. You've got David Neres in there, of course. You've got Rodrigo Palacio. I would actually also put David Neres in. I know you've got Carrasco there, but I actually think Neres is better than Carrasco, and you've also got, which is an absolutely insane card, you've got Romarinho as well. If you can find a way to build in Romarinho red pick, that is absolutely brilliant. I might actually, you know what, I will try and come up with a suggestion for you shortly after I finish going through this, but honestly, what a lovely set of subs as well to have. Real variety in there, real. And what I will say as well about your subs, which maybe does boost your squad a little bit, is that they all bring something different to the table, which I really like. Zapata, of course, the big strong striker who can maybe win a header late game. Carvalho to lock it down. Gervinho, of course, speedy winger in there with Neres. Rodrigo Palacio, speedy striker / cam. And of course, Romarinho, game-breaking showstopper, flipping awesome card. So really love that. You know what? I'm going to build a solution for you just to have a look at as well. I'll be back with you in just one sec. Okay, so I have come together and built a squad here for you. It's not that much different actually from what you had, but actually there's some really nice options here for you to do. The first thing I did, of course, was swap in David Neres for Carrasco. Now actually you start off in a 4-3-2-1, so that's how it would line up there, very similar to how it currently does. Actually, if you go to a 4-3-3, then you get a little bit more out of all these players as well. I'm wondering if there's a way you can section off Vidal so that he doesn't get touched by anyone else. I did have a look at putting Ivan Perisic in there, so if you stick Perisic in there for a second, which we will do for you right now, just to kind of link it. Now he's only 88k as opposed to Lozano, which is over 200. That is a good way to get Vidal's chemistry up and allow you to actually play with a full chem Vidal and a full chem squad all the time. The other change that I made, which actually you'll probably be doing as well now that I think about it, is Renan Lodi comes out at the end of this season. Grab that card. That would be the perfect one to sweep in behind your Puyol. Links into your Coutinho as well. Could even link into Neres if you needed him to. So that would be what I would go for. I noticed you had Koundé in there, so I added him in there as a player just because I thought you probably have grabbed him by now, and Raul's in there of course as well. This will come up to, now if I just get rid of Lozano, because I still think his price is affecting this will come up to 234k. I don't even know how, because Perisic isn't that expensive. But oh, it's because of Koundé. Because I haven't bought Koundé yet, that also comes into the price factor. So Perisic, Koundé together, 234k. I notice your balance is sitting at 137. I hope it's still around that region. If it's a bit lower, that's fine. But you're maybe a couple of weeks of grind away from being able to afford this Perisic and Koundé if you're not there yet. Renan Lodi will come out at the end of the season, so you'll be able to get him for free. Make sure you do those objectives. And overall, that would be, I think that would be the way I would go with this squad. I do think Neres is way better than Carrasco. In terms of your squad right now, again, I'm going to stick with 7.5 in terms of how good it is, but there are a lot of opportunities to make that squad better. And I think this here, for me, is at least an 8, if not better. So really nice squad in terms of all of that as well. Alright guys, so the next one we've got here is from Gregor. Now Gregor has sent us in 3 squads here. I believe it's his subs, his team and his reserves as well. Yes it is. Okay, so Gregor sent us a bunch of stuff here. What a lovely team this is. Now when I first saw this, the first thing my eyes went to was Buendia right there. Buendia's on 8 chem, Fekir's on 8 chem. Now overall I love how well this team will play. The balance in it is fantastic as well, and I assume you're lining up again with some sort of 2 midfielder DM midfielder formation, which is nice. You've got Koundé and Dest in there as well, so I think the defense and the keeper fantastic. I think your base of midfield fantastic. Fekir for me is a bit of a problem. Now Fekir is a problem because of his long passing. Now I don't actually personally like Fekir's long passing. I think is a little bit hit and miss, and for me I think you're better off taking him out of the team. Now, who would I substitute him with? You've actually got a bunch of cards here which are very useful. You've got Llorente, you've got Chiesa, you've got El Shaarawy, you've got Harvey Barnes in there as well, Adama Traore. These are a lovely set of subs as well, by the way. I absolutely love how many of these great cards you have on your bench as well. And then, of course, to top all that off, you've even got players like this, where you've got someone like a Dybala or someone like Sami Khedira, Mike Smalling, Kevin De Mount, I believe, is in there as well. Yep, Kevin De Mount, absolutely brilliant card there as well.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
So I'd be looking to link some of those players in. If you can, I would try to link in Dybala. I don't think it's possible given the way that this team lines up. I'm trying to think of a way that you could. If you leave it with me for 2 seconds, I'll come back to you right now and show you how you could do that. Okay, so Gregor, I have actually built your squad here. Unfortunately, I could not get it to work with a way to link Dybala in. However, I did come up with something a little bit different. Now, if we move Buendia over here, keep Dybala in there, put Palacio and Nedved back to where they were. Now, all of a sudden, of course, if you keep Dybala in there without Fekir, Dest goes to 6 chem as well. Now, whilst Buendia does go to 9 chem, that's not what we want. So here's what I would suggest you do. You've got 3 other players in there. Now, of course, Fekir is down here just to kind of illustrate what we're going to do. You've got 2 other players in there that you could really throw into this mix. Now, if you throw in Chiesa, that will allow you to actually complete this team a little easier. Now, you may be asking how. Switch those 2 right there. So put Pavel Nedved at the central midfield spot. Now what that does, it puts Buendia to 9 chem, Des to 9 chem, Chiesa to 9 chem, and you can get Pavel Nedved up to 7 chem as well with the right manager in there too. So actually that's one way to go. Of course, the other way to go is just simply to put in Stefan El Shaarawy. I personally would go with Chiesa. He does look like the better card at this stage of the game. Will allow you to actually play whoever you want on those wings or in the cam spot as well. And actually, I think Nedved is a better cam than Fekir. Fekir's long passing is a little bit iffy at times. He misses a lot of those long passes. You could even, and this would be my ultimate recommendation, is if you did want to keep Nedved out wide and you like Chiesa or El Shaarawy out wide, Buendia is a fantastic number 10, and I would 100% recommend try him out there because it will do you a lot of good as well, just in terms of getting him in that squad and being able to play with, to be honest, a better cam is what I'm thinking here. And I think Nedved and Buendia are both better cams than Fekir. So that would be my recommendation, is not really actually to even change that much to your squad, but actually just to shift some players around and try and get the best out of the better players in your squad, rather than players who, whilst Fekir is good, I would not be trying to get the best out of him. In terms of the other stuff, guys, I mean, Gregor, I don't really think there's much else I could recommend for the squad, and I really love the balance on this squad. Again, you've built it really well with a more defensive player, a box to box, and I assume that's how you're lining up with 3 then, and then a 1 up front. Really fantastic squad. I'm going to give this an 8.5 out of 10. It's a really nice team, bud, and I really like how it's built. Now, please do bear in mind, guys, I want to give these squads rating. It's not ratings based on overall how I think it's just my opinion, how I would use these squads as well. This would be far more suited to my play style than any of the other squads so far, but I do love how well this squad is put together. So yeah, this is a really nice squad. Thank you for sending it in. Okay guys, so the last one for today is a full untradeable squad. I cannot say your name. I'm gonna absolutely butcher it, so I'm sorry. Just let me know how to say it down below. Put it out phonetically so I can read it. In terms of this squad here, now this is how it lines up. The picture on Instagram isn't that great, so we're gonna go to here. All untradeable, and I can see why, because a lot of these are SBCs. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of these cards are definitely SBC cards. So I mean, I love how good this squad is. It is one of the best squads that I have seen from you guys over this weekend, for sure, just in terms of how it's built, and the fact that it's all untradeable as well just makes it even better. Do let me know as well, how did you manage to grind out for this? Did you get good pack luck during the year? Other sort of situations, did you just get good fodder as well? That's perfectly cool as well. Overall, guys, I really love how well this squad does as well. The only thing that I've noticed on this squad, and whilst you do have Zambrotta on 6 chem, if you give him the loyalty bonus, he goes to 7. Again, if you give him the right manager, he goes to 8. What I would say is that this Bender here doesn't quite get it for me. In terms of what I would want on him, in terms of that, you get loyalty there, which takes him to 6. If you put your manager currently is Carlo Ancelotti, sorry, so that Zambrotta will stay on 7, not 8, but 7 chem with a manager as well. It's perfectly usable. This Bender here is on 5 chem. That is a real problem for me, just in terms of how well he'll be able to do. If I was you, I would look to try and fix that somehow, try and build that back out, because you've got a weak link here, and I don't know if someone correct me in the comments down below. I think 5 chem is where all the stats are flat nailed on. You don't get any loss of how well they play, which is fine on this Lars Bender, but you ideally want to get something extra when you're linking in all these players. I do feel like there's a lot of options for you here as well. The only other thing as well that I will say, even though this is untradeable, is I really don't like this Mendy. I know he's 5-star, 5-star, whatever he is, but they really didn't give him that much of an upgrade, I don't think, to justify the price tag he is. Yes, he is the best left back in the game, but I still don't like him as a card. But that would be my only recommendation for this team. But the other thing I want to know is, how are you lining up in game? Because Messi and Coutinho and Fernandes are no doubt the attacking trio behind Kenny. Or are you playing a 4-2-2-2? Where is Messi playing in this lineup? Because if you've got him out right and Coutinho out left, oh wow. I can understand why, because Bruno is obviously the slowest one of the 3. You'd rather have the pacey ones out wide to come in and help out. But I'd like to know how this team lines up, because that might be out. To me, Messi is one of the best number 10s this year. Playing him out wide is a sin. But I do love this card. I do love that card just in terms of how it plays. Fantastic team. I'm going to give you an 8 purely because of this Lars Bender card here. That is the #1 thing you need to improve. Give me 2 seconds and I'll look into it and see what I can come back with as well. Okay, so I do have one suggestion for you. Now, I have noticed obviously Bender is off chem, and I prefer to have my central players on chem rather than off chem. So in this team here, of course, you've got Cancelo, who is untradeable. Fantastic card. Actually one of the better utility cards in the game for me. So I do pain when I take him out. But what you could do with this team is you could get Zambrotta to go out wide. You lose nothing in terms of capability out there. The only thing with this formation is that Mendy will go to a 8 chem. So if you put that in there, all of a sudden here, if you can acquire a French manager, let's say Zidane, you put a Bundesliga on him there, and you pop him in the team there, all of a sudden you're sitting on 7 chem for Bender, 8 chem for Mendy. You get more out of Lars Bender particularly. You get this new Tapsoba card, who's absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love this card. All the other team players can fit in, and it works with your untradeable theme as well. I think this is a good way to upgrade, and that pairing together in the center of the park will be phenomenal for you. That would be my only recommendation. If you don't like that as well, that's perfectly fine. The only thing I would say is try to get this Bender on a higher chem level, because you can't have him at 5 chem. It's really not getting the best out of him. That's my only recommendation for this, and therefore I'm going to give your squad an 8 out of 10, just because that's the only weak spot that I would see. Otherwise, I absolutely love your squad. So guys, thank you all for sending in your squads. I know we've only done 6 of the squads so far. We will be doing another episode of this, so don't be disheartened if you haven't seen your squad. It will be coming up in future episodes. And guys, for those of you who have not submitted your squads or not seen this video before, or seen this style of video before, hit me up in the links below in the description, Instagram, Twitter. Even comment your squads here on YouTube in the comment section down below. Whether you just want to type out the names and how you line up in game, that's fine. However you want to send me them, send me the squads. I will try to put them all in the game, and if I do miss your squad as well, guys, please do let me know down below. I will try to go through it over the weeks. Obviously this week you may not see your squad because it is the first episode, but if I do miss your squad out, do let me know. I do want to go through all of your squads if possible, and I love seeing how different people build their teams as well. Thank you again all for all tuning into this video. If you haven't subscribed and liked the video, please do as well. It helps the channel grow tremendously. I hope you guys did enjoy it, and I will see you all in a bit.